Hey there guys, DMO73 here, bringing you the next spoiler article for Echoes of the New World. Today we are starting to dig into the Will of Despair cards, which is very interesting. So we have the opposite book, the Book of Dark. So first off, pretty interesting artwork here, but it's cool that we have these kind of conflicting books. Essentially the front side is the same as the Book of Light, it's just reversed. Can't have Will of Hope cards in your deck, and can pay attribute costs of Will of Darkness or Will of Despair with any attribute. Flips over into Lapis Story, the Subjugation Fairy Tale. Very interesting artwork on this side. So we've got like Lapis, Mikage, Scheherazade, strangely enough. Whoever this guy is, Allosaurus, Wukong as well, very interesting. Sylvia and Valentina too. So really nice looking artwork, to be honest. And literally has the exact same effect of Book of Hope, just is for Will of Despair stuff. So not really much to talk about there. Our first Will of Despair card is ARrahman, the Wicked Spirit Eye. So it's a 2-drop 5/7 familiar. Will of Despair with 0. Your opponent reveals their hand. Play this only ability during your turn and only once per turn. So that's crazy. You can just, if this card is stuck on the field, you can just be like, I would like to look at your hand, please. Activate it. Once it resolves, you get to look at their hand, and you have perfect knowledge of whatever they might do that turn. This card, I think, for control is ridiculously good. Know whether or not, when you need to use your cancel spells, is whatever. Plus, it's a pretty good stat line for a 2-drop. 5/7 is nothing to shake a stick at. So, very interesting. Next up, we have Abdul Al-Hazred. He's back again. Sinister Vizier. 3-drop 7/8. Pretty decent stats. Will of Despair. Residence Darkness Magic Stone. Target opponent discards a card. Every single time you call a stone with them, your opponent has to discard a card. Imagine this in Fox. He's on the field. You get Griffin, 2 stones, both darkness stones. Ta-da! You also just got a big creature, ramps 2 stones, and made your opponent discard 2 cards. That is insane. I definitely think this card is insanely strong. Then we have Yamata No Orochi, so he's finally back. The Resurrected Calamity. 8-drop 0/16 Swiftness. When this card enters your field, it deals 800 damage to every other Resonator, including the other ones on your side of the field. And when he attacks, he deals 800 damage to your opponent and to each Resonator. So essentially, when he enters and swings, he's a 16 to the board, and he does 16 to the board, and he does 8 to your opponent. So, and then every time he attacks after that, he's going to deal 8 to the board and 8 to your opponent. So not insanely good, but like in sealed, especially if you're playing release and you get into like put this guy in your sideboard or whatever, especially since sideboards in pre-releases are every card you didn't put in your deck. Definitely could see this card being very useful in that regard. Umir Al-Tawil, so good old Yog-Sothoth in his humanoid form, is back. He's an 8/8, 7-drop, Human Cthulhu. When he enters your field, you search your deck for a 1-drop non-chant card, a 2-drop non-chant card, and a 3-drop non-chant card. Put him into your field. So he's just like, he hits, he opens up 3 doors, 3 things come out, and then they just stick. This is very interesting. It opened up some pretty interesting plays. I think we'll see a lot of cool stuff come out of this guy. But his stat line's a bit high for such a low defense, but his cost is a little bit high for his low stat line, but he gets a lot of stuff. So pretty cool, because there's no requirements. It's just they have to be a 1-drop, a 2-drop, and a 3-drop, and they can't, and it's up to. So you don't have to grab all 3, and as long as they're not spells, you can grab them, which is pretty crazy. Now we have Dark Fairy Tale. It's pretty much the same as the Fairy Tale card from the light side. Pay 1, grab a Will of Despair card, and put it in your hand, and then put the rest on the bottom. Pretty straightforward. Now this card, despite the artwork, is insanely strong. So it's Final Battle, 1-drop and X. You may pay 2 life rather than pay 1 up to X times to play this card. So you can play a blend of Will and Life, but Jade Resonators your opponent controls gain -X until end of turn. So your opponent has a bunch of 3-drops. Okay, pay 1 and 3 life, and 600 life, nuke their board. And it's just your opponent's. So that's insane. You can pay 2,000 life to give everything -10, which can be interesting. Pay, 24 life to give everything -12, which is pretty neato. right? Because that's, yeah, -12, -12. So that's pretty interesting. So like, this is just a really strong board wipe, but Control needed it to be able to deal with large boards, especially things like Death and Taxes. Against Death and Taxes, this is a miracle worker. You just pay, you know, 1 black and 3 will, and the thing is, then you can support cancel spell behind it, you know, because you're not casting will, you're not using will to cast it, except for the 1 black. This card is insanely strong, and I can't wait to see what it does, particularly after rotation. But that's it for today, guys. Let me know what you guys thought of these spoilers. I'm very looking forward to the stuff that Echoes is going to show for us. I want to see more of the Will of Despair stuff, as well as the other rulers. I'm very interested to see. And we haven't seen either of the book's stones yet, so we don't know if the books have the stones or something else has the stones. We'll just have to wait and see. But let me know what you guys think. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, this is DMO73 signing off.